Hello everyone. Welcome back to another September in the cul-de-sac. We're back to school and our cooking season is turning the corner toward fall and comfort food. So today I'm going to share with you my favorite fall-winter soup. I'm all ready for you. Meet me back in the kitchen. Welcome back to my kitchen. Fall cooking brings to mind comfort food, and comfort food definitely brings to mind soup. So today we're going to prepare a favorite soup from back in my chef school days, a signature staple soup at the school which opened my world to delicious and satisfying mushroom-barley soup. I streamlined the process and I bumped up the nutrition even more while keeping taste and satisfaction key. That's what I do. Here's my very own version of the best mushroom barley soup. All right, as always, we begin by building real flavor right from the start. We don't wait until the very end when our options become limited to salt and fat. Yes, in my large, shallow 8-quart pan, I am cooking just to soften over a medium heat 4 medium carrots, 2 yellow onions, and 6 cloves of garlic, and a few pats of butter, and a drizzle of canola oil. I finely chopped it all together in my food processor, which we'll be using again shortly for our mushrooms. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of rubbed Dalmatian sage to cook down with those vegetables. Just continue stirring and softening. It will take about 10 minutes while stirring frequently and maintaining your medium heat. Here we go. We're back with our softened vegetables, not browned. I'm going to turn off the heat, set our pan aside while we take a look at some barley back at the counter. We have 3 culinary barleys to choose from. First, hulled or covered barley, meaning the outermost, tightly attached, and edible hull or husk covering is mechanically removed. Then they refer to it as dehulled in the industry. And it's technically, but can also be referred to as a groat, but it is labeled as hulled for us consumers. Once this hull or husk has been removed, the rest of the grain remains intact here. That's the outer bran, the inner endosperm, and the center germ, the 3 components that qualify a whole grain, and each contributing toward its nutritional value. Second, pearled barley. The medium pearled is the most common form of the 3 culinary barleys sold in the grocery stores. It's what we've all had. Pearled barley is our dehulled barley, which has been further processed and pearled or polished, removing some or all of the outer bran layer. So, technically, pearl barley is not a whole grain, but the remaining parts still contain valuable nutrients, and the fiber in barley is actually distributed throughout the entire kernel, and not just the outer bran layer, as for most grains. So overall, and especially compared to other refined grains out there, it is still a good choice. How or why did pearl barley become the most common? I think historically this is how it came to be manufactured for a few reasons. One being consumer, softer eating texture and faster cook time. But many people now appreciate the benefits and heartier textures of whole grains and realize that the extra cook time really requires no extra effort at all. A wider variety of true whole grains are available in your larger specialty grocery stores or specialty sections of your smaller local store. Bill, as I've said before, my purchasing agent through marriage, actually procured these other 2 barleys here for us today. Thanks, Bill. Third and last, the least common of the 3, hull-less. This crop, which is another variety of barley, not a GMO, does not require any hull removal because its hull is not tightly attached and naturally falls off during harvesting, leaving the rest of the grain intact. So, along with hulled, it also qualifies as a whole grain. I personally find it to cook up the most firm of the three, and it actually reminds me more of kamut, which is another whole grain. Overall, barley ranks high in dietary fiber, particularly soluble beta-glucan fiber, helping to maintain normal good cholesterol levels, which can reduce the risk of heart disease. And all of these are perfectly suitable for cooking too. I think I will use our first one, whole, for its plump, hearty texture, giving our soup a wonderful, wholesome substance. Okay, that takes care of our barley. Let's prepare our mushrooms now. I like to use an Asian blend or straight shiitake, depending on what's available. They are good sources of B and D vitamins, protein, fiber, and antioxidants. The best option at my grocery store today was an Asian blend. For full body and full mushroom flavor, I am chopping 8 ounces in my food processor here. Remove any hard stem tips if necessary. Just pulse and chop. I'll do a few scrapings in between to ensure a more gentle, even chopping into small bits, not a paste or puree. Back on the heat, a medium heat, not too hot. Pour in 1½ cups of our whole barley and our 8 ounces of chopped Asian mushroom blend. A generous drizzle of canola oil. This is a full pan. Lightly toast the barley and warm up our mushrooms, about 3 to 4 minutes, while stirring. Keep it moving. If it starts to look or feel too dry, then you may need to add a little more canola oil. Remember to watch your heat too, so we don't have any burning. It already smells wonderful. We'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Nicely cooked vegetables and toasty barley. Let's turn it into soup now. I have 3 32-ounce cartons of vegetable broth. We will only stir in 2 of them for now. You are going to have plenty of soup. Some for now, some for later. We are working smart here. It takes the same amount of time to make 1½ quarts as it does 3 quarts. Next, very important, let's continue our flavor building. 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire that we all know and love. 2 teaspoons of celery salt. Another teaspoon of our sage. 2 bay leaves, a sure sign of home cooking. And some ground black pepper to taste. Stir everything all together. Lid on. Slowly bring it up to a boil over your medium heat. Watch for that bubbling. I like my see-through lid here. You may have noticed that I did not add flour or any other ingredient solely for the purpose of thickening, which often masks or covers up real flavors. Because mushrooms and barley work triple duty for us. Besides real flavor and real goodness, they also provide plenty of bulk and body for our soup too. They're super ingredients. Okay, there's our steady, gentle bubbling. Now lower the heat to a gentle, steady simmer. Give it a stir to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom of your pan. Maintain a consistent, gentle simmer until the barley is softened, not mushy. Adjust your heat if necessary. It is important to give it a stir about every 7 to 10 minutes to avoid sticking or burning on the bottom of your pot. Keep an eye on it. Sometimes I'll give the pan a little jostle too. All right, lid's on. The cook time will depend on the type of barley you are using. Medium pearled, about 30 minutes. Whole or wholeless, both a little longer, about 50 to 60 minutes. So I'll check back in with you in just under an hour. All right, it's been a good 50 minutes and you'll see our soup has thickened up beautifully on its own. Let's test our barley now. It's plumped. It's al dente enough for me. Has some texture and bite to it, but it's not crunchy or mushy either. So we'll stop right there. To finish our wholesome, hearty mushroom barley soup, we will add 2 cups of vegetable broth from that third carton. And we will bring all that flavor building together with a 1/2 cup of sour cream. Our work is done. We're not scrambling to fix the flavor. This is real food, real cooking, real flavor, real goodness. Carrots and sage peeking through the plumped barley, all swimming in our rich and savory soup base. You know, thinking just a little ahead, and it will be here before you know it. This would make a wonderful soup for all of our Thanksgiving gatherings. We can freeze as little or as much as we want, like I am doing here. We'll store some in the freezer, then on another busy family fall evening, reheat it in a 375, 425 degree Fahrenheit oven, depending on the degree to which it has been thawed, covered with foil on a baking sheet for easy handling to and from the oven, until the soup is fully hot and heated throughout. It will heat up faster if you give it a stir once or twice when it becomes stirrable, as it melts down. Of course, if it has become mostly or completely thawed, you can just transfer it to a saucepan and then reheat it stovetop. I like to freeze soups and casseroles in wider, shallow pans, then transfer from the freezer to the refrigerator the day before. Both help to speed the reheating process. Or instead of freezing, you can enjoy some today and store the rest in the refrigerator to enjoy throughout the week for snacking, lunches, dinner. Just remember, for food safety, to quickly cool below 40 degrees Fahrenheit after heating prior to freezing or refrigeration. And lightly vent it for refrigeration, not airtight. You can adjust the thickness if necessary by adding some vegetable broth when reheating. So that last remaining vegetable broth may come in handy for us here. Time to enjoy a great soup bowl, savory, earthy mushroom and sage with hearty whole grain barley goodness. All the comforts of fall and home in a bowl. This mushroom barley soup is what today's comfort food is really all about. Comfort in every way. Delicious tasting, satisfying, and wholesome goodness. That's mind, body, and soul comfort. So I'll enjoy it to the fullest. Now I'm going to run some of our mushroom barley soup up to my neighbor, whom once I shared it with became her favorite soup too. So I always remember to save some out for her whenever I make it. Happy back to school, everyone. And for more of my cooking ideas, be sure to visit Elizabeth Stinson, Cooking with the Cul-de-sac Woman, at youtube.com. See you next month.